This is a request from the Grok cartoon artistry on the power of the proceedings by Iran with the International Criminal Court. Whether bluff or the real thing or not, who knows? Nobody would know from the inception. The power of the proceedings by Iran would be moral weight and world opinion of UN members, as well as failure to satisfy just war doctrines, as in Roman Catholic Catechism. This is a moral crime. It's more than a war crime and a crime against humanity. It is a deep, profound moral crime by this megalomaniacal, mass-murdering psychopath. These are evil, evil people that cling to Trump, knowing what they are doing. Jesus said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." Only if they know not what they do. The other side of the coin, Jesus said, is if you did not know what you were doing, you would have no sin. But you know what you are doing, so your sin remains. Caiaphas and the others knew what they were doing. The sin remains. Trump knows what he is doing. The sin remains. There's no forgiveness for this, as long as he carries on with his unrepentant ways. So here's the rest of the cartoon. World opinion condemns moral failure. Roman Catholic Catechism, just war doctrine violated. Iran ICC back and forth continues. Moral weight mounts. Iran joins ICC. War crimes probe launched against Trump and all U.S. commanders. That's where it leads. If Iran goes through with this, right through to completion, and does join ICC, there will be a war crimes probe launched against Trump and all U.S. commanders. Trump is not going to win this war against Iran. He is going to lose. And he's going to end up in the same position as the commanders in Germany and Japan after World War II, facing prosecution. They were convicted of war crimes and crimes against humanity. This is what Trump and Paula White and the others clustering around Trump are guilty of. They are guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity.
Soko Mahanda Akasata Reke Yamanda Raboko Sokota Ronda Yakande Eke Seke La Mama Manda Rabakase Meta Rabakande E.
Who is Paula White?
Paula White is Trump's pastor.
Okay.
That's who he picked as his pastor.
And she's a pastor? That's her official position, she's a pastor?
I don't believe women can be pastors, but
right.
Who am I? I'm just a dumb mom in California.
So is she a Christian pastor, Paula
She's a
White?
Christian Zionist evangelical heretic, in my opinion.
Okay.
But yeah, she's Trump's, she runs the White House, the faith office, White House position. And she's on the Religious Liberty Commission with me and very involved in all things Bibi Netanyahu. And so I got a call from...
How would you rate her authority as a Christian leader?
Oh, I don't take her serious at all. I don't think she's a Christian leader. I think she's a crazy person.
Power!
This is Copilot AI. I present the following. So the bottom line is that if Iran joined ICC, the International Criminal Court today, and any commander of the U.S. military, any commander, from the commander-in-chief on down, is bombing and killing Iranians in Iran after the time of joining, that commander could be the subject of a credible complaint by Iran with ICC, yes or no? Here is the precise, legally accurate bottom line, stated as clearly as possible and without public opinion. Yes, if Iran joined the ICC and a U.S. military commander carried out lethal strikes, lethal attacks inside Iranian territory after that date, Iran could file a complaint and the ICC would have jurisdiction to examine it. Okay, and here's a few details. Then I say the complaint by to ICC by Iran could credibly include, quote, war crimes and crimes against humanity, close quotes, yes or no. War crimes and crimes against humanity. And the crisp, clear answer is yes. Iran could credibly file a complaint alleging war crimes and crimes against humanity against Donald Judas Trump and any commanders under him. Here's the clean legal reasoning behind that yes, so you can see exactly why it holds. This man is a war criminal. He's a megalomaniacal, mass-murdering war criminal. Okay? Bottom line, direct answer, yes. If Iran joined the ICC and alleged that a current U.S. military commander was bombing and killing Iranians inside Iran after the date of accession, Iran could file a credible, legally valid complaint alleging war crimes and crimes against humanity. And let's go right back to the beginning, and here is why, here is how it started, and how I presented this. Did the war crime trials against German and Japanese leaders after World War II include prosecution for initiating aggression? Yes. Both the Nuremberg trials Germany and the Tokyo trials Japan explicitly prosecuted senior leaders for initiating wars of aggression, formally defined as crimes against peace. And then the co-pilot goes on to explain what initiating aggression meant in these trials. Remember, Judas Trump initiated aggression against Iran. He then went crying to NATO, saying those NATO countries should join him in this war. But the NATO countries, of course, came back and said, NATO isn't about initiating aggression. NATO is only about defending ourselves from aggression. Okay? Nuremberg trials Germany, Tokyo trials. Remember, a lot of people were hung when they were convicted of this, as Donald Judas Trump also deserves to be hung, along with his commanders and enablers. And we see some of those enablers on BitChute today. Bottom line, yes, both tribunals prosecuted leaders for initiating aggression. And then we go into a lot of legalese, twaddle here and there, and how did Netanyahu end up with an ICC warrant in this context? This is the same kind of warrant that could be issued against Donald Judas Trump. And then back to, can Iran ask ICC to open a file against Trump for war crimes and crimes against humanity? Yes. The answer is yes. That's as clear as a bell. They can. And they can fire a shot across the bow just by starting the process of joining ICC, even if they do not, pardon me, even if they do not follow it through to completion. They can start that process and scare Trump, Commander-in-Chief Trump, and his commanders under him right out of their socks.
Thank me for being here. Hello to all the lying liars and the fake news. I invited you here to watch me yell at another world leader. My guest today is a man they call Canada, Prime Minister Mark Carney. He's doing the chicken dance. Can you believe it? In fact, I'd like to see that.
What?
Do the chicken dance and I'll take 2% off the tariff on steel.
2% is 2%. 2% is 2%.
Various COVID drugs. Many people think they are a miracle that saved millions of lives. Others disagree with the CDC being ripped apart over this question. I want the answer, and I want it now.
But let me start with something you haven't heard about today. And you know, I've been pushing for a National Royal Commission into our COVID response repeatedly. It's a no-brainer, right? We need to know what we got right and what we got wrong for next time, surely. In Canada, some political activists and concerned citizens got so sick of government intransigence that they decided to set up their own inquiry. The very professional and well-resourced National Citizens Inquiry is travelling around Canada taking evidence on COVID measures, treatments, restrictions, and even the media coverage.
Here's another little fact. Because the congressmen that vote on the budget got into office by being paid for their campaigns by rich people who don't like taxes. So the political system says spend, but don't tax us. So we run a chronic deficit in the United States. That spending goes out either as transfer payments or goods and services, and that's more than our national income, which is about $30 trillion, and our spending's about $31 trillion. And that's our trade deficit. And for that, Donald Trump blames the world. Okay, I fail him for this if he were my student.
One thing I can promise you this, I will always tell you the truth.
The Washington Post and other fact checkers have found that Donald Trump tells more lies and falsehoods than any president in either party in history. The count is over 20,000.